Okay, well we're just getting onto the old M4. We're going over the, you know, the Golden Gate Bridge here. And we've picked up, just come up behind a souped up Land Rover. My guess is the guy's got his arm out the window because Land Rovers have been made specifically too small on the inside. Doesn't matter how big wheels you put on, the insides are still too small. Your elbow doesn't fit. There we are. Every time. Looks like a nice one. Yeah, elbow doesn't fit in the car. Perfect. Anyway, so today we're on our way across the old Golden Gate Bridge here, San Francisco. Quick nip over here, and then heading south then on the M5. And we've had a look on Google Maps, and it says there's a 40-minute delay. So we're just going to have to bite the bullet and jump in, because we're on the bike and we quite like filtering, so it's still going to be the quickest way down south to Devon, and let's see what we can do. Join us in a minute when I hit the M5. So we're just coming up off the old M4, M5 interchange. We're going to hit some traffic in a minute. We're ready for it. We're keen. We're looking forward to it. We love it. If you don't love riding on the motorways and you don't like filtering, then that's when you go on the other roads. They come with their own challenges, and it keeps your observation skills sharp. So I'm going to try and talk you through what we're doing. We can see that everybody's in the outside lane at lane 3, nobody's on the inside lane. So the rules and the being good and the trying to do things right, it's gone out the window. Nobody else is arsed, so let's just play them at their own game. Okay? Yeah. Things might get a little bit, you know, squirrely every now and again. But we got to get on. We got an appointment to keep in Devon. We will keep it, we're looking after ourselves. But immediately we can see the brake lights coming on. That's the dangerous bit. When brake lights start coming on, that's when people start changing lanes. See the white car on the inside there? Immediately swaps lanes. They don't look. Biker there, why aren't you filtering? Give them a few revs, let me know come in. Yeah, follow me if you want to, sunshine. I'll lead the way. I got panniers on, I got a top box on. I'm coming through. Always safer to pass cars that are next to each other, side by side. That gap there is a danger, okay? People might move into the gap. Don't like gaps when you're filtering, that's where cars dart in. Between two cars, safe. Past a car, gap here, look. Watching the cars, watching the cars. They can't see us, don't forget. It's not their responsibility to look, even though it is. We know that they're not going to look. So, look after yourself. If you take that on board, look after yourself, I'll make my own decisions, and then everything's going to be good. Picking up a bit of the old onboard mic there. So, a bit of frustration creeping in because some people don't look in the mirror, and even if they do, why should they move? And exactly why should they? Lorries tend to stick out a bit. But they always leave a bit of space in the front for you. So looking as far ahead as you can, the same rules apply, okay? Try and play chess with the cars. Who's going to move next? Is these cars coming up on the left hand side on the slip road? Is that going to sort of pinball people out into the other lane who then want to move to a lane who don't see us coming? People don't see us coming, don't forget. The sun's in their eyeballs. Take everything into account. Traffic's moving in queues. We can go past. Okay, is it filtering? Is it overtaking on the inside? I'm not interested in that argument. I'm looking after myself. We're going to crack on. Another bike here, look. So what's that bike going to do? Wait to see if they've seen us or not. They haven't seen us. They're just tootling on. Let's get gone. That's 2 bikes. Keep count of the bikes. Because, seriously, why are we overtaking bikes in traffic? It shouldn't happen. Nice responsive gear. Keeping in between the cars. Looking left, looking right. We know there's a bit of a slip road down off to the left hand side. We're thinking, is that going to mean cars are going to be coming up? Looking at the overhead gantries, is there anything on there that we need to worry about? Lane closed signs, big red crosses. You know them red crosses mean? You know, don't carry on in that lane anymore. It's saying 40. They're having a laugh, obviously. If you can do 40 in this traffic, you're cracking on. So anyway, left hand lane's coming in, look, slip road's coming in. What does that mean? Is there anybody there that's going to move? People move into gaps, people don't move between cars. Keep your momentum going and look up ahead. Where's the narrow bit? What's going to cause us to slow? If you can see that white line going all the way up ahead, you're going to be okay. They've got a lorry up ahead. That's going to be a bit of a squeeze, possibly. They've probably seen us because they're a lorry and we trust lorries to see us. Sometimes they don't. But most of the time, if you just be a bit patient, they'll shuffle over a couple of inches. And as we all know, a couple of inches is all you need. Looking out for brake lights, looking out for the twitch of a car, yeah. Is it gonna move? You've got to get the old spidey senses going. People move into gaps. It's especially dangerous, or a bit more serious, when cars are stationary. As soon as cars become stationary, you've got to think, well, how long have they been stationary for? Is the dude going to get out of his car and have a stretch? Yeah? Is the kid going to have a game of footy on the side? So stationary cars, we don't like them either. Slow moving cars are okay, they can crawl along, they can get out of your way if they need to. I'm not going to expect them to. Nobody does. Nobody's going to move. We've got to move around them. Car up ahead, look. Wants that gap. Great. Well done. Cheers, sunshine. That makes another gap. What are you doing? Okay. They're not aware that we're there. They're just doing their thing. They're more than happy just weaving around, trying to find a bit of a faster road. Can't blame them. They've been stuck in this for hours. So trying to keep a nice pace that's not so fast that you can't stop, but it's quick enough that we're making enough ground, you know. We don't want to be here forever. The idea is that if something happens within the next sort of car length or a couple of cars length, we can stop. So that's what we're checking for. But we don't want to be surprised. If you end up getting surprised, you've done something wrong. Read the situations. Don't trust people to see you. It's not going to happen. Look up as far ahead as you can. Another bike there, look. 3 bikes gone. Now, it's opened up a little bit. We're starting to move on. People are quite content just to move on at the pace. And we're just nice, ticking over. Got a nice, fairly wide spot to ride through. It's still filtering in my book. But as things start to open up, you can get back into the lane. But looking forward, that car's not going to do anything. Looking forward again, what's this black one doing? It's not going to move at all, is it? It's going to stay there. So we need to pass it whilst it's passing another car. No gaps. Now we've got a gap on the right now. This lane 3's got a gap, so move out of it. Out the way. Cars might want to use it, this space. And we think we're free. We think we're over and done with it. We think, well, that's good. That was easy. But we think back to our Google Maps, it says, no, it's jammed up for miles. The sun's in people's eyeballs, casting shadows coming off the back of the cars. They might be getting dazzled a bit. They're not going to be looking in the mirrors to see what's going on. Looks nice and open at the moment, but looking up ahead we can see there's some traffic still. People are sat in their lane. They've been sat in the lane since they've been sat in the traffic. They're not going to move over, and if they do, that's on us. Okay, we're doing the thing that they're not expecting, so don't get cross if they do something that we're not expecting. But we can expect them to do stupid stuff. So just be one step ahead. Look at all the traffic on the bridge up ahead. Okay? Loads of traffic on that bridge. That looks like it might be in a slip road. So does that mean there's going to be loads of traffic joining? And if it does, that's going to mean a bit of slow up. Brake lights are coming on in the car. Brake lights are coming on the car. This is the danger zone. This is where people move. So be alert. There's our slip road coming in on the left. Okay, we just saw the sign for it. Loads more cars. Everybody's stopped. Nobody's on lane 1. Everybody's in lane 2 and 3. Standard positioning etiquette says, standard filtering etiquette, sorry, is between lanes 2 and 3. Okay, you haven't got too much to worry about. We can see some cars joining on the left. Is that going to pinball people out to the right? So, people move into gaps. Cover your gaps off. There's a gap being moved into. People are moving across. People are moving across. Coming up behind a bike. Now, a couple of revs. As you heard, I'm not one for the rev bombing, but you know, it might make your presence felt a bit. We'll follow them for a little while. I do tend to like following a bike because they can be the thin end of the wedge. But we've immediately realised, no, we're not happy following this dude, so let's get past him. A quick swap into 1 and 2. Okay, finding a gap. We've overtaken the bike in lane 2 and 3. There's a gap. Pull it back in again, and let's be away. We're not being held up today. We're not being held up by anybody. If there's a bike in front of us, we're going to get past it, because when there is a bike in front, it narrows your field of vision down. We can't look far enough ahead to see what's going on. We can't make a plan properly. We're looking at their back tyre. If it's somebody you know, and you know they're good in the filtering, and then, yeah, okay, follow them. You know, have a relax. If it's somebody you don't know, and they're moving on at the pace you want to do, fine. But also bear in mind, cars might open up for them and then close back behind them. A little bit like a, you know, a bit like parting of the seas. They don't expect to. There's a gap to the left. Get past the car reasonably quick. Don't want to be in that danger zone for long. Don't forget they haven't seen you. Nobody has seen you. Up over the top of this bridge, you can take in the surroundings. Looks nice. Not as good as the Golden Gate Bridge from earlier, but still, we do like a bridge. 4-lane motorway seems to slip people by completely as to which lane to be in. It's a very strange thing. People are just about reasonable with 3 lanes, but 4 lanes confuses the shit out of everybody, so it seems it makes people freeze in spot. So a little bit of manoeuvring to get us back into the gap. Another bike here coming through, sunshine. Make your mind up. And we're looking out for the signage, because this 4 does go into a 3. We've got the inside lane moving on pretty quick, but that's a filter lane or a slip road. We're expecting people in our lanes to want to dodge across and perhaps get off the motorway. Coming up behind another bike. Okay, let's watch this dude for a minute or two. Steady away, looks like an old fella, old bike. Going steady. You know, if you want to see how filtering's done, then watch this dude. But don't slow me up, sunshine. Look in your mirrors. Move over. Move over. Move over. Let me through. You know I'm there. You've seen me in the mirror. Now move over. Move over, please. Right. You're in the way. You're going to have to get gone. If this is you, or if you do this, and bikes come up behind you and you're filtering, get out of the way. You've just been caught up and you're filtering, so you're going slower than the dude behind you wants to go. So let's get past him. Let's find a gap. Get out of that 1 and 2 zone as quick as you can. Back to 3 and 4. Now, he's more than welcome to follow me, because I'm now the thin end of the wedge, but I don't think he will. Another slip road to the left, keep your eyes peeled on that. Same thing, it's always the same. Motorways run in patterns, you know, things are pretty predictable. Often. Not always, you can't rely on people to be predictable, but you can rely on white Range Rovers not to move over. You can rely on vans with chevrons on the back, just to be, you know, thinking of other things, eating pasties, that sort of stuff. Tanker drivers are normally pretty good. Just moving over where you see the cars are stationary, they can't get out your way when they're not moving. If they're moving, they can move. If they're stationary, they can't. So we've got to move for them. It's all pretty much common sense. But eyes on stalks, look as far ahead as you can. Get the plan. On these long sweeping corners, you need to edge it across to the right a little bit so you can see down the gap. You're looking for something, some sort of information, a brake light coming on, a twitch of a car, something that's going to mean that, is that going to affect me or not? And as people are all moving at the same sort of speed, the idea of dodging lanes isn't going to be too great. People just like to drift one to the other. We saw the blue car there just move, so they move back occasionally, they make a bad decision. So if they're in that habit of moving, they might move twice. Now it's starting to thin a little bit, so we're keeping ourselves in a lane for as long as we can and then pressing on if we need to. Here's a big gap and another bike. So we'll do the polite thing, which is make ourselves known to the bike. Put yourselves in the mirror. Okay, have you seen us? They've put their hazards on, so that immediately tells me that they're a bell end. Don't put your hazards on. Nobody sees you with your hazards on. It's not legal anyway, he says, being massively, you know. Anyway, who am I to talk? It gives you a false sense of security is what I'm saying. If you filter with your hazards on, great, it might help. But the worst thing it can do is make you feel like you've been seen. Okay, you haven't been seen. So, get out the way. Your hazards are not a suit of armour. And if you want to indicate left or right, then you've lost that ability. Now you're holding me up again, so either pull over, get out of the way, or crack on. Make your mind up, because I'm going to make it for you otherwise. I'm trying to see past you, you're in the way, I can't see where I want to go. You're wibbling around all over the place. I think you've got a pillion on behind, so I don't want to follow you anymore. Alright, that car's indicating left, you went right. Bit noisy on the throttle just to make my presence felt. Fair dues to the car there. Now we're going to run out of a lane here in a minute, so I'm going to get over early. I'm aware of other cars going to want to come into this lane. It's a bit of a dodgy spot here, to be honest. But all those cars are now fed in. And now we're back to lane 2 and 3. And you're over there on the white line. What are you doing over there? Trying to prove a point? That's illegal as well, he says, being massively hypocritical. But anyway, we'll carry on. You know, hatched, sodded white chevron markings obviously don't mean too much to yourself, but we'll let you carry on. If that's how you want to play it that way. You know I'm there now, you've just seen me, so calm. Do not get the red mist. Don't let the red mist come down. You know what happens when that happens. So, onto this race bit. This is Gloucestershire direction. Sort of-ish. You know. Let you go on a bit so I can see a bit further ahead of you. And now we just need to plan getting past. Got the old sun beaming into the old eyeballs there. Right, everybody's on the brakes. Let's go. Had enough of you. So we'll get ahead, and now you can follow if you want to. Completely up to yourself. So we're going to just make a bit of a gap now between them and us. And as the cars are starting to slow down on this sort of uphill section, I don't know why, maybe the cars, you know, haven't got the power to crawl up this hill. Is that why it's all slowed down? Does anybody know why cars slow down like that? Okay, coming up behind the old lorries. They'll see us, they'll move over, bide your time. We need a nice gap. We need a gap wide enough for the wing mirrors and the panniers to get through, and then we can go. Moving over to the right as far as we can, just to get a better view around this sweeping corner. We're looking for people jutting out. We're looking for cars just twitching, just moving, just looking a bit out of the ordinary. Trying to keep away from the big gash in the middle of the tarmac. That upsets the bike a little bit, so if we can avoid that, we will do. Sometimes you can't. Now here, the lane 3 is pretty stationary. This is where people are going to start moving into gaps, so just be wary of it. Maybe cover the brakes. If you've got link brakes, you can stamp on the back, one's going to do the front. Leaves your hand free to do the throttle. You might want to put a couple of fingers over the front brake lever just in case. Pick your gaps, know your bike, get moving. You're expecting this to finish, you know, we've been going for a little while now. Google Maps is saying the congestion's for, I think it was a half an hour delay, so we should be getting out the other end of it fairly soon. And that's why the cars are starting to spread out a little bit. Nobody's using the correct lane discipline, obviously, but we allow for that and we just ignore it now. Okay. Just looking past the cars. Are they going to move? Are they not going to move? Have they moved in the last 10 minutes? No. Are they going to move in the next second? Probably not. Again, very slow on the lane 3. It's because everybody goes to lane 3, leaving lane 1 massively open, with a big gap in between it. So, if you really want to make decent progress, lane 1 is an option. Again, get your timing right. Look up, make an analysis. Is it going to move? Yes, no, pass between two cars if you can, get back into your lane. Is the car you're passing going to change lanes? Does he look like he's going to move? Can you stop if he does? Can you make yourself as far away from any perceived issues as you can? It's all on you. Don't rely on the cars to look after you. They aren't interested. Pass between the cars eliminates the issue. Moving on, when there's a gap, get into your lane, but get ready to get filtering again. Now these cars are going to move. They're too close to each other to swap lanes. You can be pretty certain you're going to be okay. Can't rely on it though. Hope that message is coming clear. When you're filtering, look out for yourself. Because nobody else is going to do that for you. It's not their fault. They've got the radio on, you know, they've probably got a cup of soup, you know, a flask of weak lemon drink on their lap. There's all the social medias to be checking and, you know, they've been sat in this for hours, don't forget. They're going to be a bit frustrated. Make allowances. Understand it. Use it. Keep your eyes peeled. Get into a nice rhythm, get into a nice flow. Pick your speed you're comfortable with. Pick your speed, pick your lines. Look at what's going on, don't just focus on the gap. Look what's coming in. Another load of cars coming in from the left. Is that going to mean that cars in lane 1 are going to move to lane 2 to lane 3? Are we going to get pinched? So, once you pass the danger zone, there's a car moving over, see? You can almost guarantee what's going to happen. Make a plan. Once you're through it, there's normally a bit of shuffling whilst people regain their rightful position on the road. And after that, it just settles down again to fairly standard filtering. Passing through the gaps, keeping it nice and steady. We're not doing 1,000 miles an hour, we're just pressing on. Clear road ahead, and we can get back to doing what we like doing, munching some miles, and looking forward to Dave Thorpe's off-road school. Glad you enjoyed that. I know I did. See you next time.